Welcome everyone, Grand Rising, good afternoon, or maybe even good evening, depending where you are joining us from in the world. You are tuned in to Real Talk Reshaping Motherhood, brought to you by Power to Our Mothers Foundation Africa and Speak Up and Empower, our partner. To learn more about Speak Up and Empower, please tune in here.
Speak Up and Empower is an organization dedicated towards education, social impact, and promotion, focused on building businesses, communities, relationships, and lives that allow us to create and share our dreams. When we are able to approach life with a desire to allow the best in ourselves and all those around us, abundance of health, wealth, and love will naturally flow. Speak Up and Empower provides community members with the tools that they need to create and share their dreams. Authors of all forms, blogs, articles, magazines, books, copywriting, bloggers and publishers, and course providers. Retailers, speakers, whatever way you connect with the world, we provide you with the tools that you need to be seen and heard. We will guide you, educate you, and support you, and empower you to realize the passion and turn your dreams into reality.
Welcome back to Real Talk Reshaping Motherhood. My name is Naa Amerley Asante-Armar, streaming live from Ghana. I'm your host today, and I am really thrilled to be joined by my guest today, Morolake Adeagbo. But before we get to meet her, if this is the first time that you are joining us today, please take a few seconds to drop a comment and let me know where in the world you are joining us from. Always great to connect. And also do just follow or subscribe depending on what platform you are joining us on, and share. You never know what positive benefits can come from just sharing a message of today. So my lovely guest, before I allow her to speak, as I said, is Morolake Adeagbo. She is a woman of wearing many hats. She's a wife. Well, obviously she's a woman, a wife, a daughter, a mother. She's a family sociologist and also a behavioral researcher. And above all things, last but not least, I understand that she's also a stubborn optimist that believes that, you know, we can make the world a better place with a little bit more positivity. So I will hand over to Sister Morolake. Please do greet our viewers and let us know a little bit more about you.
Thank you so much for having me on your show today. I really, really appreciate this. It is so nice to contribute to, issues concerning women. I feel so happy that I'm part of the movement, part of the system that is trying to bring out the light even in the very dark world. So like you've already introduced me, my name is Morolake. I'm a behavioral scientist, or you call it a researcher if you want. So I'm passionate about issues relating to motherhood, to women, gender studies, then violence, feminist issues, issues relating to maternal health, to adolescents, to HIV and AIDS. And when it comes to research, qualitative research is my passion, because I believe that there's a need to actually explore, understand people's experience, people's thought, so that we can actually inform policies and inform issues relating to human being.
Okay, wow. Yes, that is like I said, a woman with many hats. And yes, we do have that in common in terms of our interest in motherhood and women. Obviously, they both affect us. But the issue that we're talking about today specifically is unplanned motherhood. Now,
Right.
tell us why that is something that you are so passionate about, and what kind of maybe work you are involved in around that?
Okay. I actually, well, from the way you introduced me, I'm a mother. And going into that, becoming a mother, going on that path actually influenced my passion towards understanding, the concept of motherhood. Because sincerely, becoming a mother, it's not just an easy, responsibility, and wearing that hat is actually the most challenging, although a very beautiful experience, but very, very challenging experience too. So I became very passionate about the issues surrounding my motherhood when I gave birth to my second son. I mean my second child, my son. It was a very difficult moment for me, because I went through a lot of personal experiences that actually shaped my orientation, my thinking when it comes to motherhood, in terms of the medical challenges. Then it was, even after giving birth to him and going through all those experiences, I thought to myself, how do women actually do it? How are they, how do they really cope with such experience? You don't forget, I said my second child. So I've actually had, a first experience. When I had the first experience as a mother, it was more like, a smooth ride. So I thought motherhood, well, I wouldn't call it smooth, but at least compared to my second. So I thought, oh, it's beautiful. So let's go on. Let's keep on. But my second actually changed the entire my view about motherhood, because of the personal experience. So I thought I need to understand other people's experiences too when it comes to motherhood. So that actually influenced my passion and my decision to go into it.
Fantastic. If I just share
Right.
quickly, I so resonate with what you're saying in terms of the first pregnancy and birth. That one was fine. Same for me, just
Right.
smooth ride, everything. And then the second one comes along. You're like, what is this? It's like chalk and cheese. Not to
Right.
say no pregnancy is the same, but
No,
yes,
it's not.
I definitely can relate. Um, so I think it's something that we can't actually talk about too much. The fact
Right.
that, fair enough, we're women, we've chosen to be mothers, and women are birthing every day, every second, every hour. But still, like you say, these experiences that we have with something
Right.
that is supposed to be so, natural. So I think it's great that you have a passion, and maybe even have the space to look at why these things and how these things. So where did you move on from there, if I can say that, to look at?
Okay, so this personal experience actually influenced my trying to understand other women. So the first thing I did was just, okay, if I, as an adult, can actually go through this experience, how do the teenagers actually go through this too, especially the unplanned mothers? How do they really cope with the mental challenges, the physical changes, the transition and everything? And to even make it to add, should I say cherry to the cake, I thought, if you are an adolescent, you become a mother. Well, I think to an extent, the challenges are still, moderate, if I can use that word. But now to add, more responsibilities to it, being being ill, being sick, makes it even a bit more challenging. Not even a bit, it makes it very challenging. So I thought I cannot just stop at being an adolescent becoming a mother, there's a need to explore some other nitty-gritty, more challenge, more groupings of women that are going through more, or if I can use such word, so I actually put in for my doctorate, exploring the experiences of HIV positive adolescent mothers in South Africa, which I won't lie to you, opened, a whole lot of a lot of new worlds to me, because I thought, okay, everybody, people talk about motherhood. Oh, it's so mentally taxing. It's so, I'm physically exhausted. A lot to talk about. But when it comes to these young women, when it comes to other groupings of women, like mothers living with some disabilities and challenges, single mothers, lone mothers, it becomes a whole new world that we have to understand. And apart from that, moving ahead after the completion of my PhD, I thought, okay, there's more to motherhood and womanhood. We need to explore other aspects of it. Presently, I'm in collaboration with some other researchers, in South Africa and in the UK and in India. We're exploring issues surrounding gender-based violence, especially among the upper class women in India and in South Africa.
Mm-hmm. Wow. It's sorry, I'm just pausing to think that it's like I was saying before, that you would think that maybe things should be so straightforward, but the fact that, like you said, you went to explore one subject area, and then there's a whole load of other issues to explore. So you kind of touched on them, but are there any particular groupings? Because I'm getting the view that there's like these different categories of unplanned mothers that you looked at. Is that correct?
True. Actually, my focus was on HIV positive adolescent mothers.
Oh, yeah.
But as I went deeper into the research, I actually understood. I became more knowledgeable in terms of understanding that this doesn't just end here. There are still other groupings of women that we also need to pay more attention to. When it comes to motherhood, motherhood goes beyond just birthing a child, popping it out. It is more than that. It is actually, the responsibility starts when you, after giving birth to that child. The mental responsibility, the physical responsibility, the even the social and emotional responsibilities that comes with it. I don't want to call it, yes, some people call it challenges, but when it comes to, because you have to weigh the positive side too that comes with such role. Yes, I'm faced with these challenges, but I have the joy of a new human being, that fills you with that happiness, that fulfillment. Although some women don't feel like that when they give birth to the kids, but all the same, we still have to make reference to it, right? So the challenges of the challenges that comes with birthing a child, and okay, before I even forget, I was trying to say motherhood goes beyond just giving birth to a child. So it comes with nurturing. It comes with the ability to nurture. It comes with the ability to ability and willingness to nurture, ability and willingness to actually love unconditionally, to you, even despite the fact that you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling tired, you're feeling sick, you feel there's a need to not let down this little bundle of joy that has been given to you, that has been gifted to you. So I feel right. I feel motherhood in its entirety. We have to look beyond the fact that it is just giving birth. We have to look at the fact that other people, other groupings of women are also, in this, under this umbrella. Groupings like I've already mentioned, the HIV, people living with what do you call it now? Chronic diseases and, potential life-threatening diseases, adolescent mothers, single mothers, lone mothers, a lot of, women under this umbrella.
And would you
Right.
say that those groups of people suffer from stigma? And if so, do any of them suffer more stigma than others?
I believe, okay, apart from the fact that, this grouping of women suffer from stigma, I'll first look at the stigma that comes with motherhood
Okay,
first.
yeah.
When it comes to being a mother, you're expected to be a mother in certain way. For example, in Africa, or let me say let me first start with my background. You're expected to nurture, to be the perfect mother. You expect, even when you're feeling so tired, when you're feeling so overwhelmed, you're expected to still drop everything and take care of the baby. When the baby is, screaming, and you're feeling, even if depression sets in, postpartum depression, and the pain of birthing, if those things set in, you're expected to not think about it, to just be the mother. So it becomes very, very, I classify that as a stigma, because if I'm unable to actually fit into that box of, being a nurturer, well, not a nurturer, if I'm unable to fit into that box of being a perfect mother, then I'm stigmatized as, oh, the bad mom. Or if I feel overwhelmed and I think, okay, can someone please help me for a while? I need to just, breathe. They feel, oh, no, you're not expected to breathe. Although they don't say it that way, you're not expected to breathe. You're expected to take up the responsibility. You should be a mother. So I believe that under the big umbrella, motherhood as a whole is being stigmatized. So it becomes worse for some grouping of women, like those living, like, the adolescent mothers, the single mothers, those who are also known as the lone mothers, who are not married,
Yeah.
So, and those also living with chronic diseases like HIV/AIDS.
Okay.
It is so, from my research, it is so sad. It is so depressing to hear these young women talk about how, well, some, not all, how the society sees it as, a problem. Well, it is a problem, but how the society actually label them for making a mistake, becoming a mother when they were not ready. So it's actually a very depressing situation, which we need to, look into and explore further. There's a need for the society to move beyond, this person has made a mistake, or this person is living with this. This person is not your exact definition of how a mother should be. So how do we really handle such situation? How do we move away from the box you think we should enclose a woman? So this is a very important topic, or a very important issue that we need to educate the society about.
Yes, because even from discussions we've had offline, where we look at the fact that the stigma I hear a lot is, especially like you say, in relation to the adolescent mothers or the teenage mothers or the very young mothers. And already some would say that our youth are stigmatized anyway, because it's
Right,
like they're supposed to carry the whole world on their shoulders. They're supposed to right the wrongs of their ancestors. They have so
right,
much to do.
right,
And then, okay, so now they get pregnant when they're either that they didn't plan it or they're very young. None of
right.
this is none of this is new.
Hmm.
It surprises me. It's like none of this is new. It's not like we never had times where young people gave birth.
You're
That may
right.
be controversial for some, but you know
Hmm.
how we talk. So why is it that we it seems that we just, okay, so the situation happens and we're talking about, giving birth as in a new life. What
Right.
happened to the time where we rejoiced because, like you said,
Right.
somebody's been gifted
Yes.
a new life. But now it's like, oh no, you weren't old enough, you weren't ready. But where is it that we're having the discussion? If it's so bad, where are the discussions, or are we having the discussions about, but how did the mother, the woman, or the young woman,
Right.
end up in that situation in the first place?
Right. I think, well, some people are actually, I've seen different people organizing, symposiums, conferences and small gatherings like the churches and, other places to educate people, to actually let them understand that the fact that this situation has happened has nothing to do with a way forward. There is the need to move beyond, to look beyond what has happened. In the case of a young girl, that, I use the word mistake because that is how the society sees it. In the real sense of it, it is not a mistake. Yes, maybe they were involved in risky sexual behaviors. Yes, we've paid so much attention to that. I'm not saying I'm not an advocate of risky sexual behavior or unplanned um, motherhood now. I'm just saying there's a need to go beyond that idea that, okay, oh, she's such a loose girl. She's such all the labels that you can think of. There's a need to actually provide what the society needs, because when we continue to throw the stone on these young women, on these mothers, we're actually gradually cracking those. You're causing more havoc to the society than it's needed. A girl that is not, a mother that is not mentally stable, that is not emotionally able, how do I create, nurture, bring up a new being that is going to impact the society in future? So the thing is, the best thing is to start supporting these young women. The best thing is to start supporting every mother, whether unplanned mother or from the planned perspective. There's a need to actually, because we need that desperately, if I can use such word. If you do not support me, I am overwhelmed already as a mother. I feel like, okay, I'm in a new world. I'm, transitioning from a known world to an unknown one. Because seriously, motherhood is a concept that I'll say we're still trying to understand. Even despite the fact that researchers have been doing it for years, we're still uncovering new issues, new ideas underneath motherhood. So there's a need to come together to support every mother when it comes to childbirth and mothering, because it is quite demanding, it is quite intensive.
I think even that, sister, is an understatement. I think that because it happens every day, like I said, every second or every hour, every day,
Right.
we take it for granted that, like what I say, it's like from my personal view, the way we go through motherhood, or women go through motherhood, is that
Right.
to some extent we make it look easy, because we just get on with it, and it actually
Right.
is not easy, number one. And number two, in these days, in these times particularly, although being the most natural thing there is on the planet, there's so
Right.
many complications for some people. It's
True.
it's rife with the complications for something that was so natural. And I completely hear you in terms of that the need to support the mother. And obviously, speaking from the perspective I'm coming from, specifically for Power to Our Mothers Foundation Africa,
Right.
we don't stop to think, or I question how many of us stop to think that these same judgments and the stigma and the name calling and everything, that this, whether young, forget the age, but this new mother has to deal that. Do we stop to think, or do we question, okay, so how is this, all of that going to actually benefit the child that's just come into the world and needs to be raised? When the mother, like you say, whether mentally, emotionally, physically, you've even given us examples, she's in a position where she needs support.
Right. You know, you made reference to something earlier. You said we as mothers, we just get on with it. It is not actually natural, so to say, to just get on with it. The society taught us to get on with it. You know, we made reference to stigma earlier. You know, you're expected to just, okay, after giving birth, you're expected, it's even worse now, especially for the working mothers. You're expected to go back to work once you're done with the birthing. If you're not, if you know this concept of, you know, the strong woman, you want to be the woman that is seen, you know, the example of how a woman should be. Yes, but I don't know if you follow the story of Makun, the princess, what's her name again?
Meghan Markle.
Yes, about being, you know, being saying that she's actually struggling as a mother. You know, the society has painted it in such a way that it's even worse for her, because she's a princess and she's expected to look perfect. She's not expected to actually show any crack. Showing a crack means, oh, she's not fit to be there. So it becomes very challenging and very difficult to actually say, okay, I cannot do it. I think you should just let me be who I am. When I recuperate, when I'm stronger, I can always go back to, you know, being who you think I should be, or who I want to be, rather, not who you think I should be, who I want to be. So it's a narrative. It's a narrative we need to change as mothers. We should not continue to get on with it. We should try to say, oh, I am a bit tired. Please let me rest.
Sorry, I'm here. I just got.
It's okay.
Yeah, no, the point about we mothers just getting on with it. It's not to say that it's easy for us, but we just get on with it because we don't have a choice. If we don't do it, who's going to do it for us? Especially about the single or the lone mothers. So it's not like a noble, valiant kind of thing where it's like. But no, it's like we can. When the child is sick, you cannot stop. You cannot stop. And even when we're feeling tired and everything, the child is dependent on you, especially the fresh, if you like, the fresh child, you know, before whether we can do bottle feeding and everything. So but the concept that you mentioned, the idea that you mentioned, yeah, it's one that I talk about a lot, this narrative of the strong Black woman. I see where ancestrally for our foremothers, it's something that they carried because they had to. I don't think anybody by choice wants to carry. There's nothing wrong with being strong, but there absolutely is. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being strong. But for me, there definitely is an issue with feeling that you always have to be strong and you can never be weak, never ask for help. That's not helping us. So I definitely understand what you're saying.
Right. It is actually, it's also good to you know, educate people about the narrative of being vulnerable, being tired, and, you know, embracing that vulnerability, and, you know, that's humanity in us. We are human. We are not robots. We are not plastics. You know, the moment we continue to focus on, you know, being so strong. Machines, even when you continue to use the machine over and over again, there's a need for you to service the machine so that it can be productive. If you
Exactly.
don't, the machine will break down, let alone a human being. So it gets to that space, that point in time that we need to actually say, okay, society, I understand why you're pushing for this. Women are natural, we're good at it, we take good care of, but there's also a point in a woman's life or every mother's life that we need to take a break. Don't judge us when we take that break. There's a need to,
Exactly.
take good care of ourselves so that we can actually contribute positively and actively, in our children's life. If emotionally I am not okay, I don't think I'll be able to teach my child about being emotionally strong. A child sees whatever I do,
Yes.
and it's exactly that the child will want to copy and show to the world too. If I'm always aggressive, due to the challenges, the pressure, being overwhelmed, a child will always go out there and portray the same image, and it becomes a ripple effect on the society. When we have more overwhelmed, more tired women, we have more mentally sick or mentally unable, emotionally down children in the society, which will certainly impact the society negatively. So there's a need for us to, educate people more about supporting mothers, supporting women.
Absolutely. We talk a lot about the fact that children are the future, but do we question what future the children can have if the mothers are not in their
Exactly.
best state?
Right.
It's so we covered quite a bit there. There's so much more we could cover. So I invite you to come back another time, because each of those areas, I'm sure, is like a whole nother conversation.
Yes.
Um, but for now, is there anything else that you would like to share with our viewers that you haven't already shared with us? And how can they reach you or connect with you should they want to do that?
Okay. I want to leave with this, you know, a bit of a, let me call it a suggestion to our mothers. I would advise that we should take our time to love each other. I mean, love ourselves and love each other. It is very, very important to do that. Without without having the necessary love, you are unable to actually share or make the next person feel the love that you have in you. So I would advise that self-care, understanding our emotions and understanding ourselves, it's very key when it comes to mothering. People can actually reach me via my email. My email address is josephine.adeagbo@yahoo.com.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you very much. Like I said, oh, the goats are agreeing. Thank you very much for joining me today. Like I said, you're always welcome back on this platform. There's plenty that we can speak about, and we need to speak about in terms
Yes, we
of
do. We do.
motherhood, what we need to rethink, we need to challenge, so that we can make it a more positive experience, not
Hmm.
just for the mothers, but like we said, for the children and for the
Right.
for the society. Yes. I think my biggest takeaway from what you say is that we think that, okay, it's just this one mother who's had a child,
Hmm.
but we forget
Hmm.
about the impact that their
Right.
well-being will have on the whole society. So I think that we should think about as well, in case we're thinking, oh, it's just one person. They
Hmm.
all matter. Each one
It's a ripple
matters.
effect. Right.
The ripple effect is powerful. Wonderful. So thank you, Sister Morolake, for joining me today. Thank our viewers for tuning in today. You will be able to watch this video back. It should download shortly after the program. Please share it with even one person, one mother, especially if any of the mothers that were mentioned in Sister Morolake's categories, those maybe that wouldn't ordinarily come by this information, because they do need support. And you'll be surprised, sometimes there are very simple things that we can do to support people. You know, it's
Right.
not always about having lots of money and everything
Mm.
like that. Sometimes it's literally just checking in on somebody, like, how are
Right.
they doing? Have they eaten? And especially
Mm.
for the mothers, have they slept? Have they,
Mm.
you know? So thank you so much, and
You're
tune
welcome.
in again. We'll keep you posted for the next broadcast. Enjoy the rest of your day, wherever you are. I'm Naa Amerley Asante-Armar, and I'm out. Thank you again, Sister Morolake.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.